It's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. Joining me via Skype from Lagos is the CEO, CKN News, Chris Kehinde Nwandu. Good morning, Chris. Thank you for joining us on the breakfast show this morning.
Thank you very much, Mika, for having me.
All right. Let's head straight to the papers now, and I begin with the blueprint. Buhari at 60th Independence Anniversary. Our survival lies in tough decisions. Slum's ex-leaders advocates healing of old wounds. Forecloses fuel price reversal. Labour faults president on fuel price comparison. Let's build a more prosperous nation. And then we move on to the front page of the Business Day. Nigeria declines in volume of movie production, soars in quality, as DVD gives way to cinemas, streaming platforms. All right, to the front page of the Daily Times now. Knocks for President Buhari on Independence Day speech. You find a story on the front page of the Daily Times. To the Daily Trust now, mixed reactions trail Buhari's Independence Day speech. Glamour in Abuja, anger in states. Stop making mockery of Nigerians, PDP NLC. President right for telling the truth. He should not increase petrol price anymore. All right, let's quickly move to the front page of the Leadership newspaper now. Nigeria at 60, eminent citizens, others chart way forward. I disagree with a bleak view of our history, Oshibajo speaking there. We'll work for a better country, governors. Proponents of regionalism are selfish, Sanusi. Law reforms to reflect dynamism, nation status, Malami. Ohaneze use seek redress of imbalances. NLC calls for adjustment. All right, we'll be looking at all of that shortly. And finally, on the front page of the national economy, Nigeria at 60. We have done more with scarce resources than previous government. President Muhammadu Buhari speaking there. Hints on further petrol price adjustment. Sanusi supports federal government on subsidy removal. All right, Chris, let's begin with your reaction, because most of the papers this morning are feeding off from the president's speech yesterday. Was the speech all-encompassing for you? And did it point a direction to which the president wants Nigerians to go from now on?
Well, after going through the speech, I didn't see anything new that the president has said, that he has not said in the past. He has not said in the past 5 years since he has taken over. What we are still having is just a normal speech, expectedly. I was looking at how we are going to get ourselves into the problem we find ourselves now, and how it's going to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians who in the past had got it so bad before, during, and practically after the COVID-19. And now slammed with the issue of petroleum hike, the issue of electricity hike, the increase in taxation, and other likes, and the revenue of what their take home is not able to take them home, and most states are still finding it difficult to pay the minimum wage. Then there is a protest here and there. Insecurity is on the high, and so many other issues. Agitation is taking a new dimension. It's no longer about the southeast now. Even the southwest are agitating, and so. Expectedly, and for me, the speech was more of self-glorification, the president beating his chest and accusing those before him of mismanaging the economy.
Chris, are you there? All right, we seem to have lost connection with Chris Kehinde Nwandu there. He's talking about the president's speech, and that is what we have been reflecting on. Mike, I believe you have been following Chris's statement, talking about he is saying that Chris now is reacting to the president's speech, he thinks that the president's speech was more about self-glorification than reflecting what the situation on the ground is. That this is not different from what the president has always talked about over the past 5 years, and how the president is looking at how other previous government has performed. And that is all Chris has been looking at.
Well, the point there is, if you listen to people speak, there has never been any presidential speech that all Nigerians say this is amazing, this is wonderful, apart from the independence speech and some of the speeches where the first speech is by a president that is taking over from a military rule. At such times when Nigerians are looking forward to hope and all of that, apart from that, not so many Nigerians give accolades to presidential speeches. But the point there is, it is the perception around what the president is doing, matching it with what he's saying, and then how he's inspiring people for the future. These are things Nigerians put together. And
that is what a lot of persons have been talking about. But we have Chris back on now. Chris, if you can hear me right now, the president for him is saying that the focus for him is a reflection of where we are now and how we have to move forward. And he talked about the path of healing. You would recall that after the Civil War, a lot of persons are saying that the issues that triggered that Civil War are still very much around with us. And if we are to tow the path of healing together for a prosperous nation, where do we begin?
Yes, I agree with him, but there are theoretical and practical issues here. What the president is talking is theoretical. In practical times, I don't think he has been able to match his action with words. Recent past, even a few days ago, we've seen the lopsidedness on the issue of appointments in certain government agencies and the likes, even to the extent that a former military leader from the north also complained about this. The former head of state, former president Olusegun Obasanjo have said this. So many other people have been saying it. So the president needs to match his action with words and make sure that every Nigerian, irrespective of where they find themselves or where they come from, see themselves as Nigerians and have a sense of belonging. The former military head of state that saw us through the war, General Yakubu Gowon, came up with certain measures that could be able to bring some level of integration within the country. If you don't forget the issue, that's how the issue of NYC came to be, so that Nigerians, youth from across the country can find themselves in certain areas of the country where they are not from, so that they can be able to learn not only the language but the culture of those people, so that at the end of it all, we can have some level of social integration. But that's happening now with the level of insecurity. You come to see that even parents go out of their way to make sure that they try to go to NYSC to make sure that their children don't get posted to certain parts of the country. And so that is also being defeated. Then on the issue of appointment, as I said, the president has not been showing leadership. Then agitation here and there, everybody agitates. If Nigerians have a sense of belonging, everybody have a sense of belonging and believe that, yes, this is a country where I have opportunity to rise to any position I want to find myself, then there will be no agitation. But because of this social imbalance and political imbalance, that is where we are finding ourselves where we are. And the president needs to do more about that.
All right, Chris Kehinde Nwadu, we must thank you for your time on the newspaper review this morning.